What is reality? What is projection? And how much of your reality is projection? Hello, beloveds. I'm Krystal, and this is Priya, and welcome to my channel. We'll begin this with a few questions. What is reality? What is projection? And how much of your reality is projection? One thing to know about reality is it's subjective. There is no one reality. Your reality will never be the same as my reality. Projection involves projecting emotions and feelings onto someone else or onto a situation rather than dealing with them or acknowledging unwanted feelings. I'll begin this with a couple examples so you can understand better. The first example I'm going to use is actually a story my friend told me about a month ago. And it involves him dating two different girls, which I'm not saying is a healthy thing, but it works for the example I'm about to give. So he had been dating two girls for a couple months, nothing he thought was serious, and within the same 24 hours, at the same restaurant, they both broke up with him, not knowing about each other. One of the girls was studying to be a police officer, I think in some kind of special unit. She was very career focused and studying all of the time. She was the first one to break up with him, and at dinner she told him, "I'm really sorry, but we've been seeing each other for a couple months, and I'm already starting to feel like it's too big of a commitment and you want more from me than I can give." And she went on to explain that she's not ready to settle down and she's getting the impression from him that that's what he wants. He told me that wasn't really the case, but he understood what she had to say and he let her go. The next morning, he was at the same restaurant with the other girl that he was seeing, and she, out of nowhere, also broke up with him. This girl was a single mother with a son, and she explained to him that she's looking for someone more serious to settle down with her. Once again, he told me he didn't feel that was the case, but he also understood and let her go. This is a good example of how we project our insecurities or fears onto others. How much of my friend was actually doing these things that the girls had believed, and how much was actually coming from their fears. And another example of this that I really love from a Wayne Dyer talk that I was listening to. And this isn't going to be accurate. I'm going to retell the story from how I remember it, but the message is the same. So basically he says there's a duck outside of this park every day, and his name's Larry, and he's always quacking. And the same people go by Larry every day. One lady is an opera singer, and she walks by Larry while he's quacking, and she says, "Oh, Larry, you're always singing me the most beautiful songs, thank you." The second man is a businessman, highly stressed, running to work. He sees Larry and he says, "God, Larry, quack, 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 you're always wanting something from me. Just leave me alone." And the third lady going by is a little overweight and very obsessed at the moment with her diet and losing weight. As she goes by Larry, she says, "Geez, Larry, you're always quacking for food. I don't have anything on me." So this is another example of how we're projecting our lives and our unwanted feelings onto the reality around us. And of course, this applies to everything in our lives. We are a product of our experiences, and even our parents' experiences, as they most likely projected theirs onto us. And this will always happen during this human experience. But I think it becomes a problem when we begin to project so heavily that we're tainting good things right in front of us. Either of the girls in my friend's situation might have actually been able to stay and make things work with my friend, but they let their fears get in the way of continuing to try. It's important to detach from your ego, which is your identity, and step back and look at the situation from a place of truth. If it's a situation with someone else, for example, sit back and take a look at the actual situation for what it is. Ask yourself if you believe this person's intentions are truly bad or even what you have portrayed them to be. Could it possibly be from your past traumas or insecurities that you're feeling a certain way about someone else? While we'll never completely lose our ego or our sense of self, that's fine as long as it's not hindering our personal growth and progress. After taking a step back and looking at the situation, if you decide that it's actually you projecting onto this individual, go and meditate. Go sit with yourself and find the root, the memory. whatever it is that is making you have this issue. When you find where this feeling has actually come from, acknowledge it and release it. Just let it go. And from my own experience, it honestly works. It either won't come back again, or if it does, you'll recognize it, acknowledge it, and release it right away. And another example of this is when I was actually driving today. I thought to myself, because I'm driving an RV, it's nice that people don't mind if I'm driving slower because it's an older vehicle. And because I had making this video on my mind, I stopped and asked myself, how do I even know that? What is making me think that everyone's fine with my slow driving just because I'm in an older vehicle? And I realized it's because that's how I think. If I saw an older vehicle, I'd be more understanding and pass them nicely, although I'm not an aggressive driver. But I realized that that was the only reason I thought that. And that might not even be reality whatsoever. Maybe people are really angry with my slow driving and annoyed that I have an old vehicle on the road. My mind has done this because it thinks, just because I think a certain way, that other people should be thinking the same way. And obviously in the vehicle situation, that's not a problem. But I personally think that when this way of thinking becomes a problem is when we become naive to our surroundings. When I was younger, I had a lot of my things stolen. I was also lied to by friends and lovers and cheated on. When these things started happening to me, the reason why they did was because personally I wouldn't do that to someone else. So I naturally believed no one else would do that to me. And this is the same as my partner. He likes to leave his car door and house door always unlocked, and he has camera equipment, laptops, everything. And I've been trying to teach him that just because he wouldn't go into someone's house and steal doesn't mean that other people won't. So basically why I'm bringing that up is to just be careful and remember that reality is subjective. Not everyone thinks the same way that you do. And none of us are experiencing this life in the same way, and we never will. It's all about being aware, acknowledging, honoring, and releasing. So I hope this video has helped, and for more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions on this topic, comment below and I will be happy to reply. Many blessings.